Hello, Patreon pals and everyone else. How do you do? Today is December 27th, 2009, and New Year's is just around the corner. Very exciting. Very exciting new year, 2020. It's going to be a hoot. Well, the purpose of this video here is to share with you all of the work I did over Christmas. Some of it on social media, but some of it I have not, and it is here just for you. I'm going to try something new today. Since the countdown format is pretty popular with people, I'm going to do a countdown. I've got a few different categories here. I've got pets, dolls, fantasy, mimes on things, mystery paintings, people, stylized people, and ugly portraits. And even though stylized people and ugly portraits, they are all people technically. I broke them up into three different things because it's three different styles of work, which I hope you enjoy. So let's get started with pets. My buddies here, they asked for a weird science theme. And they already had one with bras on their heads of them, and I just put Chet in there. You know, Chet. The terrible monster thing that Kelly LeBrock turned our buddy, rest in peace, Bill Paxton into. Moving on, we've got some other pet portraits. I think as the years go on, I learn new things and how to make them look more pet-like. I hope I did an okay job. This one is a specific dog drinking tea in a British tea garden with a squirrel with a few different amenities thrown in. That was fun. This one here is Patrick's friend's cat. And he wrote me and said he was pleased. So that's the best case scenario. Well, there were a few more things having to do with animals, but they're sprinkled in the other pieces. I tried to put this into categories the best I could. The next category being dolls. And these were fun. First, we are treated to a newly married couple, and I did my best to recreate the outfits they were wearing on that special day. I might have messed up a few things, but I learned how to do sandals okay. And here's one of my buddies that I haven't met yet. I also did my best to try to recreate his outfit, and its recipient was pleased. This one here, I messed up the hair, but I fixed the hair and I'm going to send it to her as a little wig she could put over it, and that's going to hopefully take care of that. Now, this is an artist you may know. He's quite popular. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not a star fucker. And this guy here, this is the manager of one of my comedian friends, and this is for just playing around his house, I'm guessing. So I hope they have fun with that. Well, we're really moving right along, aren't we, team? This is a good time. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. Now that we're done with dolls, let's move on to fantasy. Ooh, I just called it fantasy because I couldn't really figure out another category to put it in. But fantasy works, I think. It's all fantasy, isn't it? Is life fantasy? Are we real? Are we holograms living in a simulation? Do you know? Can you prove it? First, here's a piece I did for my buddy. He asked for a factory that made old-timey baseball players, and this picture is really shitty. I think there's a bit more detail in the actual piece. That one didn't turn out so super. The picture, I think the piece did. This is for a fan of the Grateful Dead, if you couldn't tell. And this is the best sunset I've ever done. Here is one of my favorites when people ask me to do superheroes. I'm terrible at it, but they asked me to do it, which means they must have wanted to see my take on this particular superhero. Do you know who it is? Can you tell? Did I do a good enough job? Now I suppose it's time to move on to mimes on things. This is where I can paint one of my little mime people sitting on whatever you wish. Let's check out some mimes on things, shall we? There's an entire video of this, a few entries down on painting these things, so this will be brief. This is a mime on a Day of the Dead skull, and this is one of the better ones I did. Here's a mime on Voltron, which I hope was received kindly. I know it's a bit sloppy, but you get the point. Now here's a mime on the atomic element copper, and this was the best way that was all I got. I want a mime sitting on the atomic element copper. So that was the idea that came to mind. I want a mime on a record player. Modern record players are very boring, so I went with the old-timey ones. Is it accurate? Let me know in the comments. Here's a mime on a colorful cube puzzle. I call it that because this isn't a Rubik's Cube brand, and that's a trademark. That's a knockoff. Look at how far we've come. We did those 5 things, and now we're going to move on to mystery paintings. Ooh, this is the last job I got of the season that I needed to get out on time, and this was fun. So here we have a nice little lady with her handbag. When I did these, I tried to make them all different colors. I tried to imagine they were all going to be in the same house, so I wanted the color scheme to look good, different throughout the whole thing. And even though half of these people aren't going to see what the other half got, that's what's important to me, that it all mixed up a little. Here we got some fella. He's got a one of those electric balls, yet his hair isn't sticking up straight. Very strange choice, Jimbo. Here we got a little alien guy. His head didn't look right, so I gave him some hair. That worked for me. I think it turned out pretty nice. This is probably my favorite of the bunch. I like the way the color goes. There's a little bear with some fur. What do we got here? See this gentleman here? I've never done anyone holding a Q-tip before. Don't put them in your ears. They're not for inner ear use. Wink, wink. Here's a little girl with some soda pop. I think that this turned out cute. That's cute. Let's move on. This young man with some cookies. Now, it is amazing the things that can pop into your mind if you just draw something that looks like a bean, and then you try to make it work. This is a sexy middle-aged disco man. I've done a few things like this before, all different colors. It's a lot of fun. Here's a sassy alien. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm a sassy alien with a lot of ear hair. That's cool. Hey, it could happen. And here's my fancy man. What's he up to? Oh, maybe you don't want to know. Maybe you do want to know. Only you know the answer. We're really moving right along, team. I'm having a good time. This video is going a little bit better than the one I tried to make yesterday. Yesterday was very slow, very boring, and in turn, something I didn't feel like editing. So I waited till today, till I had a little bit more coffee in me. Now we're going to move on to people. This is the beginning of the people. There's a lot of people this year. A lot of people. Maybe you know some of them. I bet you know a couple of them. First, we begin with this rock band. I don't know what these guys are called. I've never seen them before, but here they are. I hope the recipient liked it. This is Lady Gaga with a few added extras my buddy asked me to put on there. And this is a famous painter in a bicycle race. This is a different, with the silhouettes in the background. This is a different idea. I've never done that, but I hope it's cool. I don't know who this dude is, but I really hope he liked his picture. This was a picture done for someone else of this dude, and he asked me, please don't make him ugly, so I did my best. Now, all I knew about these cats were they dug Jaeger and they were rock and rollers. I got a message saying they really dug it, and that made me very happy. Here's a couple of sports fans. And a fun thing about this, that color on the left, that is a proprietary color, and that was very difficult to mix, so I hope I did an okay job. Here is some dude with this dog. I got a message saying they dug that, so I was pretty psyched. Forgot to take a photo of this one, but this is a couple and their dog in space. So, do I do a lot of detail on the face? Or make it some kind of situational thing, or really small in space so you can't really tell who they are? I went for the portrait angle, and I hope they were pleased with that. I guess they were, since they posted it on social media, and I had to steal that picture. I will say that I just recently learned how to use the GIMP perspective tool, which helped me fix that picture a little bit more. No. Super! Moving right along. Next, we are presented with stylized portraits. Ooh, this should be a good time. And by far, this was the most popular thing ordered this season, these stylized portraits. Here we have a young man with his mother. He asked me to make two, him and his mother, and him and his father, and I hope I did an okay job. I messed up one and I had to redo it. So a couple of these I didn't do so super the first time. It was not acceptable quality to me, so I ripped them up to start again. This little kiddo with the dog, I did a little bit of switched up the picture itself, and I hope I did pretty okay there. I really like the composition. Here's two kiddos, and they asked me to make some kind of big swirly tentacle in the background to give something they were running away from. So that's that. Here's a couple in love. I hope. Love is pretty sweet. And here is a... It was really difficult to try to nail the expressions on these kids. I hope I did an okay job, because sometimes they have expressions where our brains are really good at picking up expressions of kids and stuff, of people in general. That's what our brains are for. Some people process information in different ways, but slight little micro grins and things like that, they're tough to nail sometimes, at least for me. I'm still working on it, but I hope I did an okay job with those children. Onward. Here we got a little cutie with two little teeth there. What's up, cutie? And now I think we're going to do an entire family. I did a batch of 7. I think all the people were related. And I tried my best. Messed up one of them, so I, of course, redid it and sent it out again, free of charge. If you ever have an issue with any of my work, please let me know. I want you to be a happy camper. Yeah, here they are. Everybody's smiley and happy, and that's pretty cool. This little kiddo with this little pupper here, that was pretty adorable. I like puppies. Not when they're mine, but when I can look at them. This gentleman here, he's got his pupper, and the look on his face was like slightly comedic, stoic look, and that was very difficult to get. I hope I did an okay job in this one. I had to do a couple times because I fucked it up, but I think this one turned out pretty sweet as well. What's up, kiddo? I don't know if this is one of the ones I had to redo or not. It might have been. No, it wasn't this one. No. Well, I don't know where that one went. But this little kid's going to grow to be funny. Because she had a really funny look on her face. And I hope I did okay there. That brings us to our last chunk of paintings. And these are ugly portraits. And this was something I took up years ago when I kept screwing up on regular portraits. So I thought, hey, I can do people looking pretty weird. Why don't I offer that as a thing? And luckily for me, people liked it. So let's move on to ugly portraits. A lot of families this time. A wonderful couple with their beautiful child. Look at those eyes. Look at those beautiful little child eyes. Here we go again with another couple with their little one. Memories. Oh, and here we are. This little kiddo's a little bit older, but this time I got to do a dog, as well as grown-ups. And I've seen some of these on social media. People have tagged me in them, and I think they're pleased. So that's good. And with that, my friends, we are done. So this was an exceptional year. I had a lot of fun doing all these jobs for people. Thank you very much, everybody who hired me. I hope I made your holidays a little funner. You made my holidays a little funner. Thank you to all my patrons. Thank you all for the help through this year. It has been a fantastic year. I'm pretty excited. I'm looking forward to next year. whether you care to stick around or not, I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I'm going to keep trying to do cool things next year. Well, that's it for me. I will be seeing y'all again next year, which is 4 days from now. So thank you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful New Year's. Don't drink and drive.